New media always has an interesting effect on the family, both good or bad. The 7-Inch Plague by Irma Bombeck. Read by Karl. In 1946, the suburbs suffered its first plague. It struck with little warning and attached the weak, the bored, the vulnerable seeking relief from the monotony. Its name was television. By 1966, it would enslave 62 million families. We fell victim just before Christmas when my husband carried it home to us from the city. The disease looked harmless enough. 7-inch screen that looked like a hand mirror. We put it on the bookcase in the living room, got a vanity bench from the bedroom, and positioned our eyes 6 inches from the screen. We became mesmerized as a full-grown woman carried on a conversation with two puppets. Television was a terminal disease that was to spread and worsen, driving people from acute withdrawal to chip-dip attacks. Because I am basically a strong person, I was able to resist disease better than most, but my husband's addiction to television grew steadily worse. He became a sports addict, who was in a catatonic state 12 months out of every year. No one would have guessed his condition would become so hopeless I would approach a lawyer to have him considered legally dead. The lawyer advised me that, due to the legalities, this was not an easy thing to do. Just because a man sat in front of a TV set with eyes fixed and no pulse is not enough. Said I would have to keep a log of my husband's behavior over a year's period of time. I began to keep a diary in August. The 15th of this month was visiting day for their children. Waiting for a beer commercial, I lined them up and said stiffly, "Children, this is your father." He offered up a pretzel at the same time watching a beer can dancing with a hot dog. When we insisted he stand up, the children gasped. They remembered I was a much shorter man. September. The set went out today during the Dallas-Los Angeles game. It could be a tube, I said. Shh, get out of the way. The Cowboys are ready to score. No one is ready to score, I said. You don't understand. The tube is black. That's ridiculous. Look at that lateral. My God, they fumbled. Just relax. It could only be this channel experiencing temporary. Lady, you're going to be temporary if you don't get out of this room and let me watch my game in peace. Watching sitting in front of the black screen, screaming and cheering. Maybe I can talk to Sensor when he's watching the commercial that isn't there. October. Today our living room was named the first recycling center to be served by a mobile unit. My husband was so engrossed in watching the World Series he was quite unaware of what was going on. Television cameras ground away while Cub Scouts gathered together 8 barrels of cans, 6 barrels of bottles, and 500 pounds of paper. I pecked my husband in the cheek as I left. He swatted me and grumbled, "How'd that fly get in here?" November. I'm really worried about my husband. On Saturday, I found the TV set from noon until 10:30 p.m. There was no evidence of breathing. I called our doctor, who wheeled in an EKG machine to check the blood supply to his heart. My husband rallied for a moment when the machine was placed directly in front of him. He bolted upright in his chair, blinked a few times, started fumbling the knobs, and said, "Okay, who's been messing around with the antenna?" December. We have found it easier to decorate Daddy than to move him away from the TV set. First, we covered his feet with a simple felt skirt dotted with sequins. Then we hung a candy cane from each ear and a string of lights around his head. Tonight we're going to spring popcorn and tinsel on his chest. It's wonderful being a family again. January. I'm terribly concerned about what's-his-name. He's watched more bowls this month than the restaurant attendant at Kennedy Airport. He does not eat well. I poked my head through the door today and said, "Have I got a bowl for you?" "What is it?" he asked, dipping his spoon into it. "I call it instant replay. In it are shredded sports pages, a dozen or so flip-flops and beer cans, a few cigarette butts, and a lock of Howard Cosell's hair." His eyes never left the set as he chewed mechanically. It needs salt. February. I read somewhere man does not live by Kurt Gowdy alone. Tonight I sat with a nightgown made of astroturf and sat down on the arm of his chair. "I have a surprise for you," I said huskily. "Keep it down. Fess Parker is trying to tree a coon." "What would you say if I told you I just bought a waterbed?" First I thought he didn't hear me, and he turned slowly. "Are you serious?" He bounded from his chair, ran to the bedroom, and a smile crept to his face. "You thinking what I'm thinking?" "I hope so," I breathed. Now I can stock my own trout. March. All the green things are coming out this month, except my husband. He's alive, if you call this living, and is being fed intravenously on a diet of basketball, baseball, golf, and hockey. He's become a game of the family, trying to think of ways to get Daddy out of his chair. We've tried Your Sweater is on Fire, Watching Hockey Can Cause Bleeding Gums, and I'm Leaving, You Get Custody of the Kids. There's something very natural about a man who has a niche on the wall and every day puts fresh flowers under a picture of George Blanda. April. The baseball strike postponed the opening game 13 days. Through conscientious throat massage and stuffing his mouth with pebbles, we were able to get my husband up to 4 words a day during this period. The first day he said, "What?" The second day he said, "What?" The third day he was up to, "What is your name?" The player settled the differences soon after. He's regressed once more to clearing his throat. May. We put his mother in knee socks, shin guards, and a hockey face mask and shoved her in front of his chair for Mother's Day. My husband was watching a ping pong game and granted audience for only a few seconds. Then he pounced her playfully in the arm and said, "Hang in there, kid." June. In an attempt to keen our old things we never use anymore, I realized I had inadvertently set my husband on the curb on top of a rusted bicycle. The driver of the truck got into the house and said, "It's cute, but what's it for?" "It does a lot of things," I said. "It eats leftovers, contributes body heat to aroma, can quote more statistics than the sports almanac. We lose him for a doorstop." "What's he doing with a candy cane over each ear?" "He looks so great at Christmas, we hated to take him down." July. "I'm leaving you," I said calmly. "I can't stand it anymore. The loneliness, the boredom, the roller derbies, the golf tournaments, the snacks. I'm young. I have all my own teeth. I want to see a movie besides the Fraser Ali fight. I want to dance and drink champagne from the slipper. Do you understand?" "Shh," he said. "There's a commercial coming up. The one with the beer can that dances with the hot dog." The end.